Great morning, holy brothers and sisters, on this moving Monday of April 9th. For those counting, it is also the 9th day of the Omer. It is the 24th of Nisan. We are in the Kitzur Likutei Moharan, and today's lesson will be called Nuclear Nullifications. During the time that a person is nullified to the ultimate goal, which is entirely good, his suffering actually does disappear. But it is impossible to remain permanently in the state of self-nullification, and it must instead be in the manner of running and returning. Now, when the intellect returns from its nullification back into the mind, the mental faculties cannot receive the level of understanding that the intellect attained during its nullification, since this understanding is on the level of infinity. Because of this, the mind once again feels the pain of the suffering. Not only that, but the suffering is actually greater than it was before. Just as when two men are wrestling, when one of them sees his opponent is beginning to overtake him, he then rallies his strength and fights even harder. You know, his adrenaline kicks in, and he has much more of enthusiasm and fight in the dog. Sometimes it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the matter of the fight in the dog. Subsequently, however, the suffering is alleviated and the person is comforted for it through the new Torah insights that he attains as a result of the suffering. For through the nullification to the ultimate goal that the person experienced, whereby he comprehended that all his suffering is actually a great favor, and he was thereby filled with joy, and joy is the vessel for receiving new Torah insights. Then, through these new Torah insights, his suffering is mitigated. That is, the meaning of the verse, happy is the man whom you chastise, Teyas Renu, O God, and whom you instruct from your Torah, Psalms 94:12. Since through the suffering, Hayisurim, a person merits new understanding in the Torah. This is also consistent with the next verse in Psalms to mitigate the days of evil for him, 94:13, because through his new Torah insights, a person's suffering is thereby alleviated. Now, when we understand how things are actually for our best, and whenever we do get some little insights into the world and how God works, it is such an overwhelming, enthusiastic pleasure that we have to understand and to know that not only that, but everything that we go through is for our absolute best. The indication of whether or not a person accomplished what he should have through his suffering, and whether he has received his suffering in the proper manner, is when he subsequently merits new Torah insights, since this shows that he merited to nullify himself to the ultimate goal through his suffering. Even though he was compelled to return from a state of self-nullification, nevertheless, from the residual light remaining from this state, he was then filled with joy, and he thereby attained new Torah insights. This is the concept of the Garden of Eden, the aspect of Moses and Aaron. Garden corresponds to what is expressed in the verse, their soul will be like a watered garden, Jeremiah 31:11, and Eden is the idea of the ultimate goal, since no eye has seen it, referring to the concept of self-nullification. It seems what is meant here is that they, Moshe and Aaron, are the masters of the field and of the Garden of Eden, who can bring Jewish souls to their ultimate purpose. For Aaron corresponds to garden, as in their soul will be like a watered garden, and continuation of which reads, and I will sate the souls of the priests with plenty. Ibid 31:13. Moshe, in turn, corresponds to Eden, to nullification, to the ultimate goal. As explained above, that Moshe nullified his entire sense of independent existence, and he attached himself completely to the ultimate goal, to the light of the infinite, where there is no differentiation at all, but rather God, the Yud-Keh and the Vav-He, is the Lord, the Elohim, and everything is good. This refers to God's attribute of compassion, which is associated with the name of Yud-He and the Vav and the He, to his attribute of strict judgment, which is associated with the other name of Elo and Him. When a person is truly attached or nullified to the infinite, he sees that there is no difference between compassion and strict judgment, or what we would call good and bad, but rather that everything is really good, as explained earlier. There, in the Garden of Eden, the Holy One, blessed is He, will make a circle of the tzaddikim, the righteous, in the future, and each one will point his finger, Tainus 31a. It is explained at the end of the lesson in Likutei Moharan that the circle alludes to the joy that comes from self-nullification, which is the vessel for receiving Torah. The Torah, in turn, is alluded to by the finger, as in the two tablets of stone, which were written with the finger of God. We have to understand that, by the way, that's from Exodus 31:18. We have to understand that everything that we do in our life we should try to do with a sense of greater purpose, not just look at the here and now, what makes us happy in the physical, in the moment that we're in, but to understand that there's so much greater that we should tap into. And the greatest joy that we could ever experience is when we nullify ourselves and do something that is greater than us and do something for one that is greater than us. And we can feel that pleasure and live in it, not only to be happy in the next world and reap reward, but it will actually bring us the greatest sense of joy and happiness right here and right now. Thank you so much, as always, for learning together. If you did enjoy this lesson, please feel free to like, comment, share, and borrow. And please God, we will learn again tomorrow.